Hey folks, it's Cynthia coming to you from my garden. I wanted to share a little tidbit with you. I've often said to many folks that if you want a rose garden, don't plant yourself tomato seeds. And here it is. In preparing this garden bed last spring, I laid down a bunch of compost, I covered it over, got rid of some weeds, and lo and behold, what happens? Out of my compost begins growing tomato plants, which is wonderful because this was supposed to be a vegetable garden bed to begin with. And I certainly hope that you can see what I'm doing here, tying up the tomato plants that I have. In light of today's full moon, October 13th, I thought, what a wonderful way to express our tarot card for this full moon, being the Hanged Man, number 12 in the major arcana. And you might say to yourself, how on earth does this have to do with the Hanged Man? Well, the Hanged Man energy is one of pause, moment of reflection, sifting through the old so that we can let go of what does not serve. Now, whoops, I cut the wrong string. Go figure. In any case, the whole point of that process in our consciousness and in our thinking and in our lives, it's not just about letting go of old hurts and this, that, the other thing. We need to retain not the lesson, but the knowledge that we gain from the lesson. If you retain the lesson, then you're pretty much asking the universe to be taught the lesson over and over and over again, right? If you retain the knowledge from it, what you learned, not how you learned it, not the process you went through or the dynamic, but the actual thoughts, beliefs, new way of being or thinking or doing or expressing. If you actually retain the knowledge that you gained from your lesson and you own it as a part of your understanding, knowledge, power, not only can you grow boundaries that you may have learned or ideas that you may have gleaned, not only can you utilize the new facet of yourself that you learned, the strength that you gained, but you can safely let go of the thing that taught you. And so when we take this moment with the Hanged Man to pause, we think, what goes in the compost heap? What will help us grow? Well, I want this, but something else might help you in furthering your goals in a different way than you thought possible. So with the Hanged Man, this full moon, remember all of the stuff that you have been working on in the past 2 months or since the autumn equinox, possibly since through August. You've been given an opportunity not just to let go of your past, not just to let go of vibrations that don't serve who you are, but you've also been being given the opportunity to own your lessons, to sift through. We learn when we're younger that sharing is good. Well, that's not necessarily a belief that you're going to let go of, but are you going to grow what it means to share? Is it sharing resources? What kind of resources? Is it sharing knowledge, skill, joy, comfort? and you're also going to look at it in terms of sharing is wonderful. What can I share safely and unconditionally? And what do I need to have boundaries for? And if it's limitless without boundaries, like joyfulness, what kind of self-care do I actually do in order to keep myself joyful while I share my joy? Because there will always be people who are on their own path, who don't understand your sharing or your giving, and they might inadvertently hurt you or intentionally hurt you. How are you going to care for yourself and still share? So as you consider this full moon, your lessons and your let goes of the past, take a look at your compost heap as well, because new things might be growing. And take a look at how you're going to prepare for the next phase and the next step on your journey. Take a moment to pause and consider. Own the lesson, let go of the teacher. Own the knowledge, practice it. Looks like we got some pepper plants too. And then there's a couple of unidentifiables that I'd like to see. I know they're not weeds, but I'd like to see what it is that they turn into. So isn't that a wonderful blessing? And I thank the ancestors and the Spirit and Mother Earth that gave it to us. And I share that tidbit with you. Feel free to check out my website, cassadaga-bridgetswell.org, and you can find blog posts there. Sign up for the newsletter, and you can always reach me here on my Facebook page, Tara with Miss B. Blessed be. Have a wonderful day. Peace and blessings.